Lou Thesz faithfully defended his World Heavyweight Championship.
Rogers strut. Kowalski's got him right where he wants him.
Dory Funk Jr. wanting that World Heavyweight Championship.
10 pounds of pure gold.
Simon Felder's Dusty Rhodes has just become the World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.
Presenting the greatest organization in wrestling history.
We always deliver on our promises at the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah, but pretty hard, and look at what are you going to work now? Oh!
Hey everybody, it's Durger time. Thank you for joining me once again for another episode of NWA, the Dynasty. Some big real-world news since we've last played. A lot of releases from WBE, a couple from AEW. So we've gone ahead and moved them all out of their companies. We do try to keep this save relatively up to date where possible, even though we're on clearly a divergent path from the real world. If there's major releases from companies, I tend to try to update them. So we do have these. If anybody here you think might be a good fit for us, let me know in the comments. You know, like I could see a Mustafa Ali, if he doesn't get picked up somewhere, could have some use for us in some capacity. We do still have to go and maybe trim the roster down a little bit. I got rid of off-screen Odinson and chopped his tag team up. We're just not using them. It wasn't worth it. You know, there's some other people that I think might be on the chopping block long-term. Now that Carlito can't wrestle, maybe dropping to Colognes. I'm not sure yet. Right now, I'm keeping them around because even though I don't have creative for them, that might change, right? So there's definitely people on here we might look at potentially dropping in the future as we kind of move around. But that's not for today. Today we have the last of our tournament. Because we have Worldwide, and then we have the Crockett Cup. Finances are looking grimmer and grimmer. We did not make money last month. Are not making money this month. We didn't get pay-per-view revenue last month. We got sponsorship money. We got broadcast money. But the question is that with this new contract, will we change this? Are we going to start to break even, or at least stop the hemorrhage? I think so. But we won't know really until the end of the month. So that we will have to find out for sure. With that said, though, let's go ahead and let's move on over to Worldwide. Okay, something finally has happened that I'm excited about. And it's not Colt Cabana getting extension with AEW. It's not Camille going from muscular to ripped. That Cody Rhodes signed with Dragon Gate for a one-night only deal. So did Allison Kay, which means that we have finally corrected our issue with our belts. So if we go here and we look at our alliance and we look at our alliance titles, we will see probably a new defense, I would imagine. Let us view those defenses. And we did. Allison Kay went over to Stardom, had a triple threat, and retained the title. Cody, similarly, still champion. Not shocking there. But went to Dragon Gate, defeated Yamato, and retained the title. So we finally have it set where they are correctly utilizing these titles. That makes me quite happy. We are going to add more alliance titles. I'm going to add an alliance-specific title that's going to be for workers, but that's going to be for our next pay-per-view, Wrestling Woodstock. So that's going to be for like alliance members. Obviously, we have a pretty good chunk here. You know, we got Stardom, we got Dragon Gate, we got the Championship Wrestlings, and we got Major League Wrestling. There's people that, you know, we could probably invite. I don't know if we can just filter out will allow us to. No. in America. Do any. Pop it all out. But there are companies that would probably join Defy at this point. Impact, I feel like Impact is already part of something. That Impact is part of the Forbidden Door Alliance with New Japan and AEW. So I'm going to posit this to you guys, because we do like to try to keep this relatively up to date. I don't like to make changes. Oh, it says it right there. It says it right there. Forbidden Door Alliance. I don't like to make changes to the game that happen after the game, but I don't mind updating it to be more realistic to the real world. I would argue that Impact has not been part of the quote-unquote Forbidden Door Alliance for a very long time. There has, since 2021, not been any movement between AEW, who I would consider to be the primary owner of that sort of loose alliance, if you will, and Impact. While New Japan people have certainly gone back and forth with Impact, that's really just the individual working relationship. There's been zero movement from Impact over to AEW since Kenny had the title. And I would suggest that maybe it would be okay for us to go in and remove Impact from the alliance, bringing them possibly able to be scooped up by ours. That's my opinion, but I'm not going to do it unless there's a consensus in the group. My opinion is that this is inaccurate and they have not been part of this alliance. They just have a working agreement with New Japan, which can stay, and we can put them up for grabs. But let me know what you guys think. I will listen to the comments and we will decide from there. That's my personal opinion, but that's it. So, anyways, with that all said, let's go ahead and get to Worldwide here. Let's go. Oh, we got some backstage incidents. A whole bunch, shockingly. Okay. Metalik has something. He brought pizza. All right. Very nice. Brandy Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Sr. Brandy was brought before Wrestlers Court, accused of holding open mic night, being late for a signed travel partner. Of course, you have to pay for the meals. And then Remy probably did something stupid backstage. Wow. Remy came to you backstage and said he thought that Colby Corino has a bright future and he'd be willing to put him over in order to help take him to the next level. So, it's good for 2 matches and will expire in 3 months. Very nice of him. That was not a plan in my head, but maybe that's something we can work with. I'll have to do some thinking and figure out how I can make that work, but I would not hate giving Colby a good win and help boost him up. We will, of course, allow an open forum. We're just going to let some of those personalities kind of cool a little bit. And we will pick our stadium. We're expecting 302 fans. So we're actually going to sell out here unless I extended it already. And I think I did, actually. Yep, 350. So we're growing because we were at 300. Now we're at 302. Slowly but surely getting a little bit more and more and more people. So that is great. And it is time to run our show. So let's go ahead. Let's get on over to our booking screen. You know the deal, guys. We got 120 minutes to book. There might be some pre-shows. I'm trying to stay away from too many pre-show matches. And that's simply because I want to see if I can kind of cut costs down a little bit. So some worker finances, trying to manage that and manage keeping those expenses down. So I might only do one, might do none. It depends on how I feel. Probably do more for pay-per-views than regular shows going forward. So with that said, let's go ahead. Let's book this show. And I'll catch you guys on the flip. Alright, everybody, we got full 125 minutes. No pre-show matches. Like I said, we're going to try to keep it on cheap side, keep costs down. We got a pretty good show. I think we set up our pay-per-view fairly well. So let's go ahead and let's turn it to the show and see what we have going on. We are in the ring with Cody and Ricky Knight Jr. Cody's upset. He's scolding Ricky that he didn't take care of his dad like he wanted him to. He held back. You know, Ricky's got kind of the surrogate son kind of thing now with Cody. He's learning from him. And Cody tells him, you know, but listen, like a true father, I forgive you. Ricky kind of looks a little like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? But, you know, he's learning from him. He understands that there's like a friendship, there's a bond. But Cody seems like that ego is just too much for him. He points out that there was a pay-per-view tonight. Says he doesn't have a challenger quite yet. Doesn't know where it's going to come from. And says, you know, we're going to have to address that tonight. We're going to have to find a true worthy challenge. Before he could even address it, though, Bobby Roode and Tim Storm Jr. come out. Another weird father and son-esque relationship that has formed with Bobby Roode taking Tim Storm Jr. under his wing. Roode smirks at Cody and just says, you know what I think, Cody? You know what I like? Big gold and fat stacks of cash. Me and the boy have been putting in work here. I think it's time to pay back what's due. Since you like to make things interesting, and you don't have anyone to dance with next Saturday, how about this? Tonight, we do a little father and son dance. Me and the boy win? Well, why don't you put that belt on the line on Saturday? So, Cody gets a challenge. Says basically from Bobby Roode, fight me. Cody's not really, you know, nonplussed by it, doesn't really care. Says, okay, sure. This does really well. 61. Cody came off well. Ricky performed poorly. He had to be improv, so it's not shocking. Tim Storm Jr. did okay as well. Got to show off to a stronger start. Roode and Cody clearly enjoyed riffing off of each other. We might have a good thing here. I don't know yet. So, you know, we kind of needed Cody. This is a little weirdly paced because we've been building up the Jacob Fatu thing, but we're going to address Jacob Fatu later on the show. But for now, you know, Cody has a challenger, essentially, if Roode can win. If not, Cody's probably going to be doing an open challenge on Saturday. And we have our finals for the Crockett Cup tournament. Motor City Machine Guns versus South Pacific Savages. It's actually a okay match. Motor City Machine Guns kind of drag it out of the South Pacific Savages. Alex Shelley wins, pins Journey Fatu after a Made in Detroit. With a distraction, though. Fatus have been kind of running amok this entire tournament. And looks like another team got a little upset and decided to pay it forward, if you will. And Marshall Von Erich came out and made a distraction to help the Motor City Machine Guns win. Von Erich's got knocked out by the South Pacific Savages. So, kind of turnabout, it's fair play here. Motor City Machine Guns wins the tournament. They'll be facing the New Horsemen at the Crockett Cup pay-per-view. Alex Shelley massively outperforming everybody else. Juicy and Journey only had about 34s, 33s. Chris Sabin had a 56. Alex Shelley had a 67. Crowd got hotter. Match ultimately was a 55. Not too bad. Afterwards, we have a little bit of a breakdown out on the ringside. South Pacific Savages come out to, encounter and confront the Von Erichs, and the two teams basically square down outside the ring, yelling at each other, push each other back and forth. Seems like we have a bit of a tag team rivalry forming here between the Von Erichs and the South Pacific Savages after kind of losing that opportunity. This does very poorly, though, all around. So notice there is no story set here. I don't know how long it's going to be. But for now, we're going to move into some kind of program with the Von Erichs versus the True Bloodline. So we'll see how that shakes out. Speaking of the True Bloodline, Ricky sits down with Jacob Kathy Kelly. Obviously, Jacob Fatu has been gunning for the world title, and damn, Ricky has just been there buzzing around and stopping him. So this is sort of a sit down of like, what the hell's going on here? And Ricky Stark lays it out very clearly. He's sitting down with Kathy Kelly. He says, listen, why am I doing this? Why have I been around? Why have I been interjecting myself in all this? It's that. It's that right there. And he points to the television title that is just casually sitting at the side of Fatu on an end table, not displayed in any way. He's like, I fought and scraped for that title. Blood and sweat poured out of me for it. And then he wins it with his friends, cheats. And I can deal with that, honestly. The thing I can't deal with is that he just doesn't care. He's already on other things. He's immediately focusing on Cody. It doesn't mean anything to him. It's not an achievement. It doesn't have value. It doesn't have purpose. It's an accessory. I mean, how many title offenses have you had, Jacob? You don't have to answer. It's none. That title meant something to me. And it means nothing to him. And it makes me sick. Fatu's about to say something. And Ricky just stops him, getting hot. Says, I'm not finished, you big dumb bitch. You want to use this as a stepping stone to face Cody? That's not happening. I will be there every step of the way until you get that title and put it on the line. I will be a gnat buzzing around you, making sure you never win the big one. You beat me once. 3 seconds with all of your family around to support you. That's nothing. You got to beat me 2 out of 3. So Ricky issues a challenge. 2 out of 3 falls match. Make it real. And then he'll stop buzzing around Jacob. But he wants that title, he wants that rematch, and he wants to make it legit. And of course, Fatu accepts. So we have a Crockett Cup match. 2 out of 3 falls. Ricky Starks versus Jacob Fatu for the television title. Kathy Kelly did not do well, not following script, but, she was just in a cameo. Everybody else did really well. Ricky Starks superb. Ricky Starks benefited from having a hot catchphrase, which apparently now is probably, you big dumb bitch. And yeah, overall, very happy with this segment, and moving on to a good pay-per-view match. Warhausen versus Aaron Stevens and Black Taurus. Good wrestling. A decent reaction from the crowd. Aaron Stevens and Black Taurus defeat Warhausen in 9 minutes. Aaron Stevens pins Danhausen with a terminus. Black Taurus, of course, carried the match with an impressive 73. Aaron Stevens, the next one up with a 54. Danhausen with a respectable 52. And Warhorse not doing too great with a 30. So not too great there. Black Taurus and Alley Catch ringside. Alley Catch having excellent chemistry with Black Taurus, and really playing off of each other here in Aaron Stevens' weird cult. Segments of 56, pretty good overall, actually. I'm very happy with that. Afterwards, Black Black Taurus grabs Danhausen, just like a little chew toy, holds him limp in his arms. Aaron grabs a microphone, calls out Colt Cabana. He picks up, of course, the tome, the book. He says, "The book of Josephus." Says, as he pulls up in a page, "Beware those who play the fool. For those who plant no seeds, but only jokes, will reap no grain." Colt Cabana comes out pleading to let Danhausen go. He says, Aaron says, tapping the book, it says, "This book was written by a great man. Man with vision, man with divine purpose. It tells not just of the past, but also tells the future. I see what must happen. I see what becomes of both of us. Threads of time are beyond our control, Colt. There is a destiny in this book, and it is time to fulfill it. Cabana, I will teach you how serious I am at Crockett Cup." He nods to Taurus, who grabs Danhausen and then throws him out of the ring like a lawn dart, crashing into a table that was set up earlier in the match, all the way across the ring. Medical staff immediately coming out to tend to Danhausen. Gets a 53, does very well here. And we have our match between Colt Cabana and Aaron Stevens, leader of the cult of Josephus. We have a tag match between Kylie Ray and Delilah Doom versus King Kodakai and Kimberly. Kylie Ray and Delilah Doom defeat Kodakai and Kimberly in 12 minutes. Kylie Ray gets the pin on Kimberly after a super kick. They all did really well. Delilah Doom improving massively to a 43, which is really great. Kylie at a 54, Kimberly at a 51, Kodakai at a 53. We advance the Delilah's Doom story, which has been kind of hot and cold, mostly because Delilah Doom's been injured. She's finally not injured now. So we can kind of wrap this story up and move on to what I was planning to do like 2 months ago. But, that is what it is. Afterwards, we have Kylie Ray and Kai brawling post-match, building towards a match at the Crockett Cup. Two of them kind of at each other's throats here, having to be pulled apart by security. It only does a 45. It's not too great. We got the Clone Dynasty versus the New Horsemen. New Horsemen defeat the Clone Dynasty in 12 minutes. Brian Pillman gets the pin after a spike pile driver. The Clones are about 45 to 58 each. Brock Anderson's at a 46, improving. I think he started at like a low 40s, so not too bad. Pillman Jr. With a 55. And we can continue the New Horseman storyline. We gain some heat for it. And overall, a good match where the Horsemen haven't really been in play because of the Crockett Cup. We get to see them put in some good work here. Let people know that they're still the champs. They're the champs at least till Saturday. And they're still formidable. So, we continue that. Afterwards, Motor City Machine Gun take the opportunity to come out, do the hand palm point at Detroit thing, and stare down Pillman and Anderson. Kind of do the whole belt thing. They're coming for the belts. Pillman and Anderson acknowledge them. They're both base teams, so they're relatively amiable to each other. But they see the challenge. They're kind of squaring up a little bit. We actually lose heat for this story, unfortunately. I get a 50 overall. We have Kevin Steen versus Mance Warner. Poor Mance Warner just keeps on getting beat up without a story. I have probably something in the wings for him, but I'm kind of waiting for the right opportunity. And Steen just demolishes him in 12 minutes. Gets him in a sharpshooter for a submission. Steen has a 75. Mance has a 53. Match overall is a 61. Afterwards, Remy Zayn comes out all bandaged up after the last time Steen attacked him. The two stare down. each other. Kevin Steen was originally going to cut a promo, probably about Sammy, or Remy, but Remy cut him to the point, and Remy grabs Steen's microphone, snarls at him. A surprisingly angry Remy at this point, and all he says is, "You really want to end this friendship, this conflict? Fine. Texas death match." Remy Zayn throws the mic down and walks away. Steen obviously been saying basically brothers fight, and Remy's been sort of the goofball that's always held him back. We see not a jovial Remy here anymore. We see a very serious Remy. Wants to end this. Wants to put Kevin on the mat and definitively end it. And wants it to be bloody. So Steen did a masterful job improvising to this segment. This does really great. We gain heat for the story. It's 83. That's probably going to be the match of the show, I would imagine, and will be quite good for us. Allison Kay and Jamie Hayter have a contract signing. Like all contract signings, it breaks down into a brawl. Not much to say about it other than, obviously, Allison Kay has been a completely dominant force in the NWA for us. Jamie Hayter saying she's going to finish a story, come back, what she couldn't do the first time. She's going to defeat Allison Kay. So, maybe we're building up to a trilogy here. But Jamie Hayter versus Allison Kay set, and we're ready to go for the Crockett Cup. And our main event for the night does actually relatively okay, despite the mix of talent in here. Cody Rhodes and Ricky Knight Jr. versus Bobby Roode and Tim Storm Jr. had good heat, had decent wrestling. Yes, Bobby Roode and Tim Storm Jr. win. They defeat Cody Rhodes and Ricky Knight in 15 minutes. Bobby Roode submitted Cody Rhodes with a Fujiwara armbar after blatantly cheating. Tim Storm Jr. gets the ref distracted, clearly using leverage on Cody, gets him, and is able to win through some cheating methods, but he has won. He has pinned Cody, or he has submitted Cody. I think he's the first person to beat Cody in NWA. Storm Jr. was off his game. Cody Rhodes and Ricky Knight Jr. have absolutely zero chemistry as partners, so definitely last time we'll put them together as a duo here. But the battle of fathers and sons has concluded. The 52, it's okay. Bobby Roode had a 59. Cody had a 61. Bobby Roode thus will face Cody for the NWA World's Heavyweight title at Crockett Cup. Tim Storm Jr. had a 45. Ricky Knight had a 42. And that is essentially our show. Cody and Roode square off after the match. Cody's looking furious, of course. Bobby Roode grinning wildly. We have a match. We have a pretty good segment to end on here. And a relatively good show. 56. Could have been better if we had a stronger main event. I think we probably would have been okay. But that is what it is. All right. We got a pretty good show. We do have some notice here. Looks like WWE is going to try to scoop up Matthias Breeze, Tyler Breeze from us. I don't think we can compete with a contract offer. So I would all but imagine that is pretty much gone for us. He's getting a exclusive written contract for $7,800 per month. I mean, we're not going to be able to compete with that. So he's all but gone. That's fine. I think we're kind of done with the Smoking Aces story for the most part, so not the end of the world. Cody Rhodes has an opinion and says, Journey Fatu needs to learn how to sell. Yeah, probably. Ricky also has an opinion and says, I'm really liking what I hear from Kimberly. There's money in her promos if given airtime. We had 94,000 views, which is pretty good. Looking at what's going on in the world. Looks like there's a new US WWE champion. Almost. Okay. Our show went really well, which is very good. And it looks like WWE has made several contract offers. So obviously ours was one of them. But looks like they are trying to bulk up after having lost some people. I may have to go into their settings because with the new TKO signing, I think they're probably going to be less likely to sign people. I have to see what their setting is. Depending on when the saves were made, sometimes WWE is set to like really hoard talent, and sometimes they're looking to purge talent. I think they're probably closer to the purge talent period of their cycle. But we'll have to see. Elias, speaking of purged, was removed from WWE and has now joined Impact, which makes perfect sense. Speaking of which, again, your homework, your engagement for this episode. Should I remove Impact from the Forbidden Door Alliance and make them potentially gettable into ours? I don't think they are part of the Forbidden Door Alliance anymore. So it would only be making it... It's not like I'm trying to manipulate things. I just think it's not reflective of reality. But if you guys disagree, let me know. I will abide by whatever is the common consensus in the comments. But that is it for me today. Thank you all for joining, and I'll see you guys next time for the Crockett Cup pay-per-view. Have a great one.